A girl accidentally fell into a strange body of water. When she woke up again, she found herself in a beast world and had become the notorious villain from a book. What shocked her even more was that she had not only given birth to 4 snake children, but also had a handsome snake mate by her side. Yet the original owner had heartlessly abandoned this most beautiful man in the beast world, and even sold 2 of the children. It turned out she came from an apocalyptic world and crossed over due to an explosion. The girl groggily opened her eyes and vaguely saw someone talking nearby. It was the original owner's 2 snake children, North Clear and West Blue. She struggled to sit up, her hand touching the wound. The old scar deep enough to see bone had disappeared. She looked at the 2 snake children in front of her, completely confused. What's going on? Who are you? She got up and walked toward the 2 snake children. Don't come closer, West Blue suddenly raised a stone. Don't think you can hit us again, we're not afraid of you. North Clear saw this and stepped forward. You're set. Before he could finish, he was pulled back by North Clear. North Clear, don't go over. Bad female is definitely faking amnesia. The severe pain in the back of her head made the girl's vision go dark. She couldn't help but raise her voice. Speak clearly. Who am I exactly? Where is this? North Clear was intimidated by her presence and mumbled out the name. You're Siyan. Siyan? This name struck like a thunderclap. She suddenly remembered the novel she'd read countless times in the apocalypse, about someone who abused her own snake children, and was ultimately killed by her grown children in revenge. That vicious villain was named Siyan. You're a dark, smelly, ugly, bad female. West Blue's angry rebuke pulled her back to reality. I'm dark, smelly, and ugly? Siyan subconsciously touched her face. More horrifying memories flooded in. In the book, all 4 snake children were future villains who could overturn the world, and the original owner was tortured to death by these 2 little ones, along with the other 2 children who hadn't appeared. So these 2 palm-sized little ones were the children who would take her life in the future. She softened her voice and opened her arms. Good children, don't be afraid, mommy wants a hug. West Blue grabbed a stone and threw it at her. You want to trick us again? We'll beat you to death, bad female. The stone hit her head precisely. The sharp pain made Siyan's anger flare. You 2 little brats. Her ferocious expression filled the 2 snake children with fear. Seeing this, Siyan swallowed the scolding that was on her lips. She remembered what happened to the children every time the original owner got angry. Her anger instantly cooled, her eyes welling up. I won't hit you, really. The 2 little ones ran away. All that answered her was the howling wind outside the cave. She raised her hand, and a golden light appeared in her palm. Great, my ability came through too. Looking around the cave, there was only moldy hay and chipped pottery jars. The original owner couldn't even keep the children alive. Walking out of the cave, towering ancient trees blocked out the sky, and the air was filled with primitive vitality. Wild beast roars came from the distance. This was a world of beastmen, and her primary task was to survive beside 4 snake children who hated her to the bone. She waited until the sunset dyed the sky red, but the 2 children still hadn't returned. Siyan grabbed a tree branch and ran after them. North Clear, West Blue. Stop shouting, do you want to attract fierce beasts? West Blue darted out from behind a tree. Siyan was furious. You 2 little rascals, come back with me. Little rascals? We're little snake children. The 2 little snakes looked confused, not knowing what little rascals were. Siyan explained with an awkward laugh. It's that long-eared creature you've seen. Upon hearing this, West Blue's lips curled up, and he lied to Siyan, saying there was a dead long-eared creature in the forest. Siyan immediately got excited and hurriedly asked where the long-eared creature was. She couldn't wait to eat meat. West Blue ran toward the dense forest. North Clear followed and looked back. Third brother, where is there a long-eared creature? North Clear muttered. We're tricking her. West Blue smiled like a cat that got the cream. Let's leave her here to feed the wild beasts. The 2 led Siyan to the dark forest and suddenly ran away. Stupid female, go find your long-eared creature. Siyan finally realized she'd been tricked and stamped her feet in anger. Whether in her past life or this one, what she hated most were snakes. It seemed gaining those 2 children's approval would be very difficult. Just as Siyan was about to turn back, she heard rustling sounds behind her. A wild beast larger than a water buffalo pounced from behind. I'm done for. I've encountered a wild beast. On the other side, the 2 little snakes returned to the cave triumphantly. The next second, they were stunned by what they saw. The room was not only tidied up neatly, but there was also delicious food. West Blue was afraid the food was poisoned and didn't believe Siyan would be this good to them. But North Clear didn't care and picked up the food, eating it with relish. Seeing this, West Blue also picked up the food. After tasting it, the flavor was indeed good. He thought something unusual must be going on. That ugly female wouldn't sell us, would she? Because this was a sin the original owner committed, selling the other 2 snake children. So they mistakenly thought Siyan also wanted to sell them. He bared his teeth in anger. If it weren't for my ruined face not fetching a good price, I would have been sold too. North Clear's newly kindled hope was instantly shattered. Meanwhile, the beast world weapons Siyan used weren't even enough to pick the giant beast's teeth. Just as she was about to become the giant beast's snack at the critical moment, she activated her ability, and golden light flashed in her palm. A gun gleaming with cold light appeared out of thin air. Take this! A loud bang exploded in the forest. The birds and beasts in the trees were so startled their pupils contracted. But what made her scalp tingle was that the bullet was easily dodged by the wild beast. My God! Is this even an animal? It's harder to kill than zombies. Siyan used the recoil to lean backward, grabbed a nearby vine and swung up sharply. She waved her hand, emitting golden light, using her ability to temporarily restrain the giant beast. The birds and beasts watching from the treetops sneered. This dark and ugly female actually hoped to kill a giant beast with such a small thing, truly seeking death. Siyan flipped in the air and landed steadily on a thick branch. Looking at the raging beast below, she took a deep breath. If the gun doesn't work, I'll use something more powerful. With a thought, the golden light in her palm grew brighter. A slender flying guillotine appeared. This was the most handy cold weapon in the apocalypse, sharp enough to easily cut through zombie heads. She leaped and jumped behind the tiger. She curved her lips with the ruthlessness trained in the apocalypse. "Little kitty, come up here if you dare." The fierce beast leaped and pounced. With a slicing sound, the flying guillotine embedded deeply into the beast's neck. The wild beast let out a shrill scream, fell heavily to the ground, twitched a few times, and stopped moving. Siyan took out a dagger to process the prey. The birds and beasts in the tree were shocked, their feathers standing on end, exclaiming how impressive. Her movements of skinning and deboning were swift and skilled, all abilities trained in the apocalypse. Then she took a lighter from her space and roasted the meat. The birds and beasts watched in amazement, not knowing where she conjured these novel things from. Siyan looked around vigilantly. This place was too dangerous, she couldn't stay long. She carried the beast hide and walked quickly toward the cave. The bird beast leaped down and transformed into human form, picked up the remaining roasted meat and tasted it. My goodness, this female not only knows how to hunt, but the food she makes is exceptional. It's just a pity she's so ugly. Siyan returned to the cave huffing with anger, and saw North Clear and West Blue huddled in the corner. "You two naughty ones, get up!" The two snake children hugged each other in fear. "What do you want to do now? You two, both of you get on the bed and sleep. Get on the bed and sleep." Both little ones froze. The original owner never allowed them near her bed. They could only huddle in the cold corner. "Hurry up!" Seeing them not moving, Siyan directly picked them up, one in each hand, and placed them on the hay pile. West Blue shivered at her sudden closeness. "Bad female, has your brain broken? You keep calling me bad female, but I'm your mother, call me mother." Siyan put on a stern face. "Also, why did you trick me into the deep forest?" West Blue argued defensively. "That's the safe zone, you must have walked the wrong way yourself." Siyan was stunned. She was directionally challenged and actually believed this nonsense. She snorted coldly. "Even so, you shouldn't have left me there. I'm going to punish you." The two trembled with fear, but unexpectedly, Siyan only punished them by making them sleep on the bed. Siyan also lay down. Soon, even breathing sounds could be heard. North Clear looked at the sleeping Siyan and muttered quietly, "Maybe the ugly female isn't that bad." "Sorry." He reached out, about to touch her. West Blue slapped his hand away. "You traitor, why are you apologizing to her? Be careful she doesn't kick us both out when she wakes up." The two looked at their sleeping mother, neither noticing that the soul in this body had already changed. They quietly slipped out of the cave and disappeared into the night. The next day, Siyan woke up. The cave was empty. The two children ran away again. Being a mother is really hard. She was just sighing. Noisy and crying sounds came from outside the cave. She rushed out to look. A fat female was grabbing North Clear and West Blue's hair, cursing. "You little bastards came to steal again." "We didn't." West Blue's face turned red with urgency. "You dare argue back." The fat female grabbed West Blue's hair and scratched viciously. "Stop." Siyan rushed over and protected the children behind her. "How dare you touch my children?" The fat female cursed. "You ugly female are actually starting to care for your children now. Pigs might fly." Siyan didn't bother arguing with her and grabbed the fat female's hair. The two little snakes took the opportunity to hide behind a big tree. Looking at this scene, they couldn't believe their eyes. Siyan just took this opportunity to prove herself in front of the snake children. Grabbing the fat female's hair, she roared. "They didn't steal anything. Impossible. I just left for a while and my redland fruits disappeared." The two little snakes had innocent expressions. Siyan released the fat female and turned to search for the real thief. She walked to the scene. Using her ability to investigate traces, a faint scent of redland fruits lingered in the air. From the corner of her eye, she discovered footprints left by the thief. She followed the tracks to a patch of grass. Sure enough, she saw several small bears secretly nibbling on redland fruits. The fat female saw this and rushed over, lifted the small bears and gave them a good beating. Seeing the truth revealed and the real thief caught, Siyan asked the fat female to apologize to the two snake children, but the fat female looked disdainful and firmly refused to apologize. Siyan took a quick step forward and punched the other's big belly. The fat female lay on the ground howling in pain. "My redland fruits are gone and you beat me up. Why should I apologize?" Siyan went up and gave her another punch. "Shut it. Apologize now, or I'll punch your lights out." The fat female was so scared she kowtowed repeatedly. "I'm sorry, I was wrong." After saying this, she got up and ran faster than a rabbit. The two little snakes were scared, breaking into cold sweat. "So scary, should we run too?" They were just about to slip away when Siyan appeared in front of them. "Where else do you two want to run?" The two little snakes were so scared their fangs were trembling, thinking they definitely couldn't escape a beating now. Back at the cave, Siyan set up a fire and roasted meat. The two little ones never expected that Siyan not only didn't hit them, but could even use fire. West Blue's jaw dropped as he muttered to himself. Could she be possessed? After the meat was roasted, Siyan offered it to the two little snake children. But the little snake children turned their heads away and ungratefully said, "We don't want it. Who knows if there's poison in it? Eat it or not." Siyan huffed and turned away. The two little snakes were tough with their words, but their eyes stared straight at the roasted meat, swallowing their saliva. In the end, they couldn't resist and devoured it ravenously. Just then, Siyan walked in carrying a log, and the two little ones hurriedly wiped the grease from the corners of their mouths. West Blue saw Siyan staring at the log in a daze, and asked, "Bad female, what are you doing?" "I want to make a wooden bucket, but I don't have handy tools," North Clear reminded her. "Don't you have the snake scales father left behind?" Only then did Siyan remember this and hurried to get the snake scales. Using the scales to split the wood was surprisingly easy. "This thing is so useful." North Clear said quietly from the side. Father was very strong, but unfortunately you didn't want him. Siyan thought to herself that the father of these big villains might also be a big villain. After making the bucket, Siyan called the two little snake children to come take a bath. The two little ones huddled in the corner. West Blue refused to wash no matter what. Siyan looked at North Clear. You come wash. North Clear cautiously walked to Siyan. Siyan first helped him wash his hair, then carefully cleaned his whole body. After washing, North Clear was completely refreshed. So cute that Siyan couldn't take her eyes off him. What an adorable little snake. West Blue watched from the side, both envious and stubborn. I won't wash. Siyan changed the bucket of water and used leaves to make a simple barrier, and took a comfortable bath. After bathing, she raised her hand and used her ability to take out the last remaining piece of clothing from her space and put it on. At this moment, Siyan seemed completely transformed, like a different person from before. Both little snakes stared with wide eyes. Is this still that bad female? How did she become so beautiful? Siyan was just about to go out and pour out the bathwater. West Blue grabbed her clothes. There are male beastmen everywhere outside. You'll get into trouble if you go out. Siyan immediately realized. She'd forgotten this was a primitive tribe with more males than females. She didn't want to randomly find a beastman as a mate, so she drew a few strokes on her face, making herself ugly to hide her original beauty. At this moment, North Clear covered his stomach and started crying. Siyan hurriedly asked what was wrong. North Clear buried himself in her arms. Mother, I think I'm going to die. Siyan's heart tightened. You won't die, what's wrong? It turned out North Clear discovered there were worms in his stool. Siyan understood at a glance. The beastmen here all ate raw water and raw meat, so having worms in their bodies was normal. She immediately carried North Clear on her back to find the witch doctor. North Clear blinked his teary big eyes, feeling that the mother in front of him had really changed. Before long, they found the witch doctor. Siyan hurriedly asked the witch doctor for medicine. The witch doctor looked bewildered. What's wrong with her? Bringing snake beastmen children and dressing so strangely. The witch doctor said he couldn't treat it and told them to go back where they came from. Siyan knelt down with a thud. As long as you can cure the child, any amount of beast hide is fine. The witch doctor sighed. It's not that I don't want to treat it. There's only one way to cure this worm disease, and that's to break through the green crystal. When Siyan heard this, her heart sank halfway. But looking at the harmless children in front of her, she secretly made up her mind that she must find a way to break through the green crystal. Just as she was thinking intently, a handsome beastman walked toward her. He rushed up to her in a few steps. Beautiful female, can you be my mate? And was slapped hard by Siyan. Siyan's face was full of disgust, and she turned and walked away with the two little snake children. She was pondering what plant to use to expel worms and cure North Clear's roundworm disease. Suddenly, inspiration struck. Pumpkin seeds had this effect. She hurriedly asked the two little snakes where there were pumpkins. After learning the location, she immediately ran to pick them. Before long, she brought back a full large basket. The two little snakes were full of doubt at the sight, an illness the witch doctor couldn't cure. Could this bad female actually have a way? Siyan divided the cooked pumpkin between the two brothers. North Clear gulped it down without hesitation. North Clear saw everyone had eaten, and also forced himself to eat it. A few minutes later, the mother and two sons all ran to relieve themselves. The little snakes rubbed their stomachs and indeed felt less uncomfortable. Siyan looked proud, but West Blue pouted. It must have been a lucky accident. Siyan picked up the little one. Never mind if it was a lucky accident, let's wash your bottoms first. Then Siyan took out the remaining pumpkin seeds and planted them in the yard. The two little snakes were full of questions. Can they grow like this? Siyan was full of confidence. Others might not be able to, but I definitely can. As she spoke, she waved her hand. The pumpkin on the ground whooshed into her hand. The little snake's eyes nearly popped out. How can you control plants? Are you a priest? This is Mother's secret. Only you know, you must keep it secret. The two nodded. We promise not to tell anyone. In the blink of an eye, it was night. Siyan made a door curtain with dry grass to block the cave entrance and prevent wind. North Clear repeatedly praised Mother for being smart. Only West Blue felt uncomfortable. North Clear wanted to pull him to sleep but was shaken off. Siyan glared at him and told him to get on the bed to sleep, but the proud West Blue refused no matter what. If you won't sleep, then don't. You can sleep on the floor. Siyan huffed and lay down on the bed. West Blue curled up alone in the corner and unknowingly fell asleep. Siyan opened her eyes and saw West Blue in the corner, gently walked over and carried him to the bed. She murmured, "What a terrible habit. Having a bed but insisting on sleeping on the floor." Early the next morning, Siyan cooked pumpkin porridge. She told the two little snakes to drink it, saying the worm disease would be cured in a couple of days. This time, West Blue didn't hesitate and gulped it down. North Clear asked Siyan to fill another bowl. Only then did Siyan remember there were two more little snakes sold by the original owner. North Clear wanted to bring it to them. She readily agreed and packed 2 portions in leaves and handed them over. The 2 little snakes ran out carrying the food. Before long, they arrived at where the other 2 little snakes were. They saw a female leisurely lying on a stone bench in the cave, ordering the male beside her to bully the little snakes. One of the little snakes wanted to resist, but was kicked hard. The little snakes outside the cave were both angry and heartbroken. They hurriedly sent a signal to the little snakes inside the cave. The 2 little snakes took the opportunity to slip out. North Clear handed over the food Siyan made. But when that little snake heard it was made by Siyan, he pushed it back without hesitation. "I don't want anything from that bad female." North Clear asked West Blue to persuade them. West Blue said this food had nothing to do with Siyan. The 2 little snakes hesitated for a moment but ultimately couldn't resist and devoured it ravenously. North Clear was full of heartache. "Big brother, your hand is broken and they still make you work." The little snake hesitated, his words catching in his throat. Before he could finish, a large piece of wood was thrown over. East red, south ink. a fierce Bear Roo rushed up roaring and glared viciously at North Clear and West Blue. Since you brothers have such good feelings for each other, why don't I have Siyan, that ugly female, sell you two as well? West Blue stepped forward to protect his brothers, but was slapped hard by the other. The little ones couldn't resist at all. Bear Roo pointed at them and cursed loudly, and also ordered people to catch them all. The little snakes struggled, but it was useless. A fat female passed by and saw this scene. She thought this was bad and immediately ran to notify Siyan. When Siyan learned the snake children were being bullied, she was instantly furious. She hurried to rescue them. "Stop it!" An angry roar echoed through the sky. She quickly arrived at the scene and protected the little snakes behind her. Bear Roo came up and threw a beast hide to Siyan, thinking she was still the old Siyan who would sell children for one beast hide. Unexpectedly, Siyan exploded at her and punched Bear Roo. Bear Roo saw that Siyan had become so formidable, she didn't dare act rashly and could only curse. "Unwanted ugly female, you dare hit me." Siyan responded dominantly to the dead fat bear. "So what if you have many males? I may only have one male, but I have 4 children." Bear Roo heard her own mates talking about her, and her teeth chattered with anger. She turned her attack to the little snakes. "Snake beastman children should naturally be despised. I'm helping you discipline them, you should thank me." "Shut up!" Siyan shouted angrily. She took a quick step to Bear Roo's front, but Bear Roo looked disdainful. It turned out the original owner had sold 2 little snakes to her and even signed a slave contract. How could Siyan easily admit it? Words mean nothing. Where's the evidence? Bear Roo led her into the cave to get evidence. "Mother, it's dangerous." North Clear worried it was a trap. The little snake sold by the original owner looked incredulous. "North Clear, what did you tell her? Does she deserve it?" After these few days together, North Clear had gradually accepted Siyan. Siyan followed Bear Roo into the cave and discovered a jar of salt on the cabinet in the corner. She secretly approached while Bear Roo wasn't paying attention and stole all the salt with her ability. She thought to herself, "Dead fat bear, daring to bully my children, you must pay a price." They found the little snake's slave contract. Bear Roo brought the contract in front of Siyan to let her see clearly. Siyan saw it was indeed the selling contract of 2 little snakes and immediately used her ability to change the text on it. "Bear Roo, can't you read? This isn't a slave contract, it's a work contract." Bear Roo was stunned when she heard this. Seeing the slave contract had turned into a work contract, she was furious and crushed the contract in her hand. She ordered her mate to kill Siyan. Siyan drew her dagger, ready to fight. "Everyone stop!" At the critical moment, the witch doctor in chief walked in. Siyan immediately complained to the chief. "Chief, I just want to bring back my children. Their work contract has expired, but this dead fat bear still won't release them." Bear Roo was so angry she couldn't speak clearly. You these 2 children, were clearly slaves you sold to me." Siyan told her to show evidence. Bear Roo was immediately speechless and froze in place. Siyan struck while the iron was hot and accused the bad fat bear. "Chief, back then she used 2 beast hides to have my children work for her for 10 days. But now she insists on calling a deer a horse, saying it's a slave contract." As she spoke, Siyan also pretended to be wronged. Bear Roo was completely defeated by her acting. The chief told Bear Roo to return the 2 little snakes to Siyan. But Bear Roo was very unconvinced and said snake beastmen should be slaves and servants. The chief told her to shut up and quickly released the 2 children. At this moment, a beastman hurriedly ran in. "Mistress, this is bad, our salt is gone." When Bear Roo heard this, her heart sank with a thud. West Blue murmured, "It's over, now the whole bear tribe won't survive." Bear Roo pointed at Siyan and roared, insisting the salt was stolen by her. Siyan spat and accused Bear Roo of making false accusations. Bear Roo ordered people to search her. Siyan firmly refused and asked the chief to uphold justice. The chief asked her what she planned to do. "If I don't have Bear Roo's family's salt on me, I demand Bear Roo compensate me with 2 beast hides and apologize." Bear Roo also made a demand. "If I find salt on you, all 4 of your children belong to me." North Clear wanted to rush up and bite Bear Roo twice but was held back by West Blue. West Blue shook his head, telling him not to be impulsive. Siyan readily agreed. She took a quick step to Bear Roo's face. "But I won't let you this fat bear search me. I find it dirty." Bear Roo was speechless. Siyan only let the chief and witch doctor search her, while quietly storing the salt on her body into her space. The witch doctor searched her thoroughly but didn't find any trace of salt. However, the bad female was still unwilling and insisted the salt was on Siyan. "Enough!" the chief shouted angrily, telling Bear Roo to quickly fulfill her promise. Siyan told Bear Roo not to think about backing out, not 1 beast hide less. Bear Roo had no choice but to take out the beast hides and hand them to Siyan. Siyan took the free beast hides and left gracefully with her 4 children. The injured East Red walked with a limp. Seeing this, Siyan stopped. "You wait here for me." She took the beast hides and exchanged them with the witch doctor for 2 bottles of medicine, then quickly returned to East Red. "Can you still walk?" The little snake subconsciously stepped back a few steps, mumbling without saying a word. Siyan sighed helplessly and picked up East Red. The little snake looked incredulous, thinking Siyan must want to harm him again. So he struggled desperately. "Let me go, I don't want you to hold me, bad female." Siyan advised him not to move around, but was bitten by him instead. Seeing the little snake still struggling, Siyan picked him up. "If you keep moving around, your leg will be ruined. I still don't want you to care." The stubborn little snake bared his fangs at her. Siyan had no choice but to put him down. The little snake's body swayed uncontrollably, and the next second he fell to the ground with a thud. Siyan ignored the pain in her arm and gently pulled him into her embrace. Back at the cave, as Siyan bandaged the wound of another little snake, the little snake was stunned. The Siyan before him was completely different from the harsh figure in his memory. The little snake beside them suddenly woke up from the pain, his face contorted in agony. Worried that further delay would put him in danger, Siyan called for West Blue to draw the curtain, and decided to use her special ability to set East Red's broken leg bone first. The little snakes were all dumbfounded. They had never seen such a miraculous scene. Green plants could actually be summoned to help set bones. Siyan asked how many days East Red's arm had been broken, but he pressed his lips together and refused to speak. She had to ask North Clear instead, who said East Red's arm had been broken for 15 days. Siyan's heart sank. Past the optimal treatment window, even if it healed, it would be crooked. She gritted her teeth and decided to take the risk, setting East Red's bone herself. Bad female, don't touch me, East Red flatly refused. West Blue asked in confusion what bone setting meant. Siyan explained that bone setting was realigning dislocated bones and fixing them back in place. East Red trembled all over in fear, thinking Siyan was going to torture him. Siyan grabbed his arm. Mother wants to heal your arm. If you hate Mother, you can use this hand to beat Mother in the future, okay? The little snake hesitated upon hearing this. Siyan remembered that this cub harbored the deepest hatred toward the original owner, and had even killed her with his own hands. She decided to heal him first, then slowly dissolve his hostility. So she directly stuffed something in the little snake's mouth and forcibly set his bone. East Red, stop dreaming. No matter how much you hate me, you won't be able to kill me in this lifetime. With a crack, East Red bit down hard on his molars and fainted the next second. North Clear worried he wouldn't wake up. Siyan comforted him. As long as he doesn't get a fever tonight, he'll pull through. The next day, Siyan returned with a basket of fruits and vegetables. Suddenly, North Clear's cry came from behind her. North Clear rushed over in a panic. Mother, Big Brother is gone. Siyan let out a long sigh. With broken arms and legs, he still wants to leave me. What a good cub of mine. She told Southing to stay home and recover, and instructed North Clear and West Blue to find East Red. She knew if she went to find him herself, East Red wouldn't come back even if she found him. At this moment, the fat female came to the door, saying the chief wanted everyone to gather. Siyan asked what had happened. The sacred fire went out. Everyone's like they've lost their souls. After hearing this, Siyan fell into thought. This world hadn't reached the stage where one could live freely, and the sacred fire was the tribe's only source of fire, practically the source of life itself. She asked where the previous sacred fire came from. The fat female looked shocked. You don't even know? The sacred fire is a gift from the divine beast. If the sacred fire goes out, the tribe will perish. Seeing Siyan's calm expression, the fat female couldn't help but lecture her, huffily leading her toward the gathering point. When Siyan arrived at the gathering point, she immediately spotted the mean and shameless Bear Roo. She looked around and noticed every female had a companion by her side. She thought to herself that without a male by her side, she was quite the oddity here. Just as she was thinking this, a handsome wolf beast suddenly darted in front of her. It turned out that as soon as Siyan arrived at the gathering point, Tyson had noticed her. The chief saw through his intentions and teased, Tyson, do you want to become Siyan's male? Tyson's face flushed red. Auntie, don't talk nonsense. The chief's expression darkened. The whole tribe knows you courted Siyan and got rejected. Tyson scratched his head awkwardly. Siyan was the only female who made his heart flutter. How could he give up so easily? The chief had wanted to introduce him to the fat female and was just about to ask his opinion when she turned around and found he was gone. The young man had already run to Siyan's side. Siyan looked at the wolf beast before her with confusion. The little wolf beast stepped closer and closer. Siyan instinctively backed away. What do you want? You don't remember me? I'm Tyson. You don't have a male by your side, so I came to protect you on the chief's orders. The chief, listening from the side, was speechless. I never gave such an order. Siyan was skeptical. Is this some tribal rule I don't know about? Tyson moved closer and closer. Siyan quickly dodged. Why are you getting so close? Bear Roo, watching this scene from the side, angrily gnawed on the pig leg in her hand. The female behind her stirred the pot. Bear Roo, you can't even compete with that ugly female? Look, our tribe's first warrior Tyson likes her but doesn't like you. Bear Roo was seething with jealousy, cursing silently, ugly female, just you wait. Just then, North Clear burst out from the grass. He dove into Siyan's arms and whispered in her ear, Mother, we found Big Brother. He wants revenge. He said he's going to burn down Bear Roo's cave. Siyan's heart sank. The sacred fire had just gone out, yet East Red had fire in his hands. She knew the fire came from home, but the tribe didn't know that. Once he set that fire, her family would probably take the blame for the sacred fire going out. She immediately pulled North Clear along to find East Red. She had to stop him, or the consequences would be unthinkable. On the other side, East Red was holding a torch, ready to set fire to Bear Roo's cave. West Blue stepped forward to urge him not to be impulsive, but East Red had already made up his mind. Bear Roo turned me into a cripple. After I get my revenge, I'll pay with my life if I have to. West Blue clenched his fists, tears welling up in his eyes. In the beast world, those with broken limbs would eventually be abandoned. Why were his brothers all so unfortunate? Just as East Red was about to set the fire, a familiar voice suddenly came from behind. Worthy of being my good cub. So young and already learning to commit arson? East Red froze. Why would she come? What he did had nothing to do with this bad female who sold him. While he was thinking, Siyan had already blocked his path, staring at him with a serious expression. Me setting fire has nothing to do with you. East Red huffed and turned his head away. Seeing him unmoved, Siyan continued to persuade. East Red, what you should burn isn't Bear Roo's cave. It should be me, the one who sold you. East Red's eyes flashed, his emotions erupting completely. I do want to burn you. Why did you sell me? Siyan quickly reassured him. "I won't sell you. Never again." But East Red didn't believe her. Holding the torch, he turned toward the cave entrance. "You already sold me," and was about to set the fire. Siyan rushed forward to stop him, tackling him to the ground. The torch fell into the pile of dry grass at the cave entrance and instantly ignited into a raging fire. "Danger!" Siyan quickly carried East Red away from the cave entrance. Seeing the fire about to spread into the cave, she told North Clear to watch East Red and rushed over alone. She pulled out animal hide from her space to try to put out the fire. At this moment, Bear Rue's angry cursing came. "Siyan, you wicked bad female! How dare you steal the sacred fire and burn my cave?" She took the opportunity to slander Siyan for stealing the sacred fire, and everyone rushed over upon hearing. The fire grew larger and larger. The animal hide couldn't put it out at all. Siyan spotted a winnowing basket nearby and came up with an idea. She scooped up sand with the basket to extinguish the fire. Wait, by the time the chief ran over, the fire was completely out. She lay on the ground crying her heart out. Bear Rue pointed at Siyan and cursed loudly, demanding she take her 4 snake cubs and get out of the tribe. The females nearby chimed in, calling her a spy. A group of male beastmen moved forward to grab her. Tyson immediately stood in front of her. Seeing the one she admired protecting Siyan, Bear Rue furiously shouted to expel Siyan, and the crowd joined in. Watching this scene, East Red felt guilty. He was clearly the one who did it, so why was the bad female taking all the blame? He was about to step forward to explain when North Clear pulled him back. "Big brother, you can't go. Mother must have a way." Siyan gave a cold smile. "If you expel me, I'm afraid there'll be no way to relight the sacred fire." The chief quickly asked what she meant. Siyan declared that if she could put out fire, she could naturally make it burn again. The chief was thrilled to hear this. Siyan coughed lightly. "But if I leave here, I won't be able to light it." Bear Rue told the chief not to fall for it, saying Siyan was speaking nonsense. But the chief was willing to try. "As long as you can relight the sacred fire, no one can make you leave." Seeing Bear Rue deflated made Siyan secretly pleased. She proposed a condition. "I can light the sacred fire, but Bear Rue must leave Rock Village forever." Bear Rue's teeth chattered in anger. Seeing the chief hesitate, Siyan turned to leave. The chief ran forward and grabbed her, begging her to change the condition. Females were scarce in the tribe and needed for reproduction. Seeing her plan succeed, Siyan stopped and declared loudly, "By the divine beast above, even if Rock Village can't meet my condition, I will still relight the sacred fire." Only then did the chief realize she'd fallen into a trap. Siyan turned to look at Tyson, showering him with praise. "Tyson, you're the tribe's first warrior. Can you help relight the sacred fire?" Flattered, Tyson felt delighted, and immediately agreed. Siyan told him to come closer and whispered the method for making fire in his ear. Tyson's face immediately flushed red. Half skeptical, he grabbed a handful of dry grass and walked to the extinguished fire pit. Following Siyan's method, he placed the dry grass on the embers, and before long, the flames whooshed to life. Everyone was astonished. Siyan lit a torch and handed it to the chief. Cheers immediately rang out all around. "Rock Village is saved!" Only Bear Rue and the bad female beside her gnashed their teeth in hatred. Tyson gazed at Siyan, his eyes growing hazy. She was so beautiful and clever. In this dangerous beast world, she didn't even have a male to protect her. He must protect her well. Back home, East Red curled up alone in the corner. Siyan teased, "Where's that courage to burn someone's cave? Now you're home and don't even dare look at me?" East Red pouted, his eyes red. Siyan moved closer. "What's wrong? Why are your eyes so red? It's none of your business." The little snake slipped into the blanket in a flash, not wanting anyone to see him in such an embarrassing state. At this moment, North Clear clamored that he was hungry, so Siyan turned to make food. Even after nightfall, East Red still hid in the blanket and refused to come out. Worried he'd suffer from not eating or drinking, Siyan slowly walked over. East Red's heart tightened. Before he could react, Siyan scooped him up. "Be good, open your mouth." Siyan had no choice but to personally feed this stubborn little one. The stubborn little snake couldn't help but open his mouth and eat the food Siyan fed him. As he ate, he suddenly stopped, his eyes reddening, tears wetting his cheeks. He struggled while shouting, "I don't want you to feed me, bad female, you're the worst female in the world." But Siyan didn't care at all. She pulled him into her embrace. "No matter what, I'm still your mother." Speaking, she still forcefully put the food into his mouth. Early the next morning, Siyan prepared to go hunting. The little snakes immediately panicked. Hunting was male beastmen's work. Was she going to abandon them? Siyan saw through their thoughts and rubbed the little snake's head. "Don't worry, mother will be back tonight." As soon as Siyan left, West Blue huffed. "I knew it. Bad female doesn't want us again," North Clear murmured. "Big brother, second brother, third brother, if you want to keep mother, you need to be nicer to her." Impossible. West Blue's attitude was firm. Among the 4 little snakes, only North Clear had fully accepted Siyan. On the other side, Siyan was picking paralysis fruits. This kind of fruit could be used to make anesthetics. Along the way, she discovered something good, several giant lettuces. Now dinner was settled. She went to check the trap she'd set before leaving. Turning over the grass pile, she was surprised to have already caught prey so quickly. The corner of Siyan's mouth lifted slightly. Those 4 little ones were in for a treat. Before long, Siyan returned with a full load. The little snakes finally waited for mother to return and immediately rushed over eagerly. Seeing so much food, North Clear was overjoyed. But West Blue pretended not to care. Siyan took out the prey and used snake scales to skin it. Couldn't help but marvel. "These snake scales are so useful," North Clear said loudly. "Mother, when I grow up and break through to become a purple crystal beastman, I'll give mother my snake scales to use too." West Blue's jaw dropped. He silently cursed North Clear as a shameless traitor for currying favor. North Clear helped Siyan tan the animal hide, and Siyan's face showed appreciation. Seeing this, West Blue also moved forward. "Don't think North Clear is so amazing. Tanning hides is a basic skill for male beastmen. Big brother, second brother, and I can all do it." Siyan countered. Knowing how to do it is one thing, being willing to do it is another. Saying this, she gently rubbed the little white snake's head. Anyway, North Clear is just better than you all. West Blue was momentarily unable to refute. Siyan hung the meat on tree branches and evenly spread salt on it. West Blue asked curiously what she was doing. Siyan explained that meat processed with salt could be preserved for several months after drying. West Blue put his hands on his hips, insisting he wouldn't believe it even if beaten to death. But on second thought, Siyan had become so capable lately, maybe it was true. Should we tell the chief about such a good method? Siyan asked him back why it should tell the chief. West Blue's eyes reddened. The beastmen in the tribe aren't very nice to us. Only the chief is decent. Sometimes when we're starving, the chief gives us food. After hearing this, Siyan hesitated for a moment and decided to consider telling the chief about this method. North Clear ran over excitedly, holding up the tanned hide. Mother, what are you going to make with this hide? Seeing the blisters on his hands, Siyan felt very sorry for him and said this hide could make 2 leather skirts. North Clear reached out and plucked a strand of Siyan's hair, saying they could use hair strands to sew the leather skirts. Thinking he could make Mother a skirt with a hide he'd tanned, North Clear felt delighted. Before long, Siyan finished making a small leather skirt. North Clear was a bit puzzled. Mother, isn't this a bit small? Siyan handed the leather skirt to him. Go try it on and you'll know. North Clear never expected the leather skirt was made for him. Seeing this scene, West Blue felt uncomfortable. North Clear changed into the new outfit. He looked incredibly handsome. Siyan rubbed his head and praised him repeatedly. Worthy of being my cub, so good looking. The little white snake blushed deeply from the praise, and snake scales suddenly appeared on his body. The next second, with a bang, he revealed his original form. Siyan froze at the sight. North Clear, you. Seeing this, West Blue silently cried out in alarm. He knew Siyan was most afraid of snakes. Siyan stood frozen in place, not daring to move. The little white snake looked at her with an innocent expression. Siyan thought she'd have to adapt to them eventually and decided to go for it, frantically rubbing and nuzzling the snake's head, asking the little white snake what form he usually preferred. The little white snake said shyly with eyes slightly narrowed that he preferred snake form. Hearing this, Siyan stiffened in fear. She tried to encourage herself. Don't be afraid, it's my cub, my own cub. North Clear coiled around her body, slowly approached her ear, and murmured softly, I really like Mother, then gave her cheek a kiss. Siyan was so frightened she turned to stone instantly and fainted with a thud. The little snakes stared wide-eyed in shock. That evening, Siyan heated water to bathe the little snakes. West Blue held the leather skirt Siyan gave him, which had his name carefully embroidered on it. His little heart couldn't help but pound. After heating the water, Siyan called West Blue over to bathe. West Blue put down the leather skirt and came forward. The other 2 snake cubs saw that both North Clear and East Red had new leather skirts, and felt both envious and sad. East Red bared his fangs and shouted that he wouldn't wash his hair. Siyan shrank back in fright. West Blue realized he'd overreacted and said softly, I won't wash my hair. Okay, no hair washing. Siyan had to help him wipe his body first. After the bath, West Blue was completely transformed. Incredibly adorable. His little face flushed red, and he felt inexplicably excited inside, then quickly shook his head. West Blue, you can't forgive the bad female. He turned to look at Siyan, suddenly wanting to transform into snake form, but afraid of scaring her. Thinking that if North Clear could do it, he could too, he whooshed into snake form and slithered in front of Siyan. Siyan saw the little green snake and her face turned pale with fear. Seeing Mother's expression, West Blue left in disappointment, curled up in a corner and fell asleep. Siyan was speechless. Are my cubs planning to stay in beast form forever? But thinking that the cubs all liked snake form, she could only grit her teeth and adapt. Early the next morning, Siyan went hunting enthusiastically, but after searching for a long time, she found no prey. Just as she was about to turn back, a thundering sound suddenly came from the sky. Her heart tightened, afraid of encountering a flying predator. Looking up, she saw an eagle diving down. Siyan frowned. Feeling this eagle was even more formidable than the great white tiger, she immediately pulled out her gun from her waist and shot at the eagle, but the bullets had no effect on it at all. Siyan broke out in a cold sweat and immediately drew her dagger for defense. But the eagle thought to himself, I'm so handsome and mighty, yet I scared her. Its eyes flashed, wanting to tease her more. It flew toward Siyan. Siyan didn't dare confront it directly. She leaped up and grabbed a vine, trying to distance herself from the eagle. Unexpectedly, the vine suddenly broke and she fell straight down from mid-air. Seeing this, the eagle cried out in alarm and quickly dove down to catch her. Siyan was completely confused, wondering why this eagle would save her. After safely landing, she realized the eagle was actually a beastman. She saw him shake his body and transform into a handsome young man. He slowly walked towards Siyan, leaned close to her, the corner of his mouth lifting. Little female, I'll break through to purple crystal beastman soon. Do you want me to be your male? The eagle beast looked confident, thinking Siyan would surely agree. Unexpectedly, Siyan flatly refused. I'm sorry, I already have a male. He's the father of my 4 cubs. The eagle beast was first stunned, but instead of being disappointed, he became even more excited. Why are you saying sorry to me? Do you want me to be your primary male? Siyan was utterly baffled, not understanding what he meant. After realizing, she was shocked as if struck by lightning. Suddenly there was a sound from the bushes, and the next second a big gray wolf burst out, shouting at the eagle beast. Birdman, our tribe's female has clearly rejected you. Please stop pestering her. Siyan looked closely. It was her suitor Tyson. Tyson told Siyan to find a place to hide first and let him deal with this narcissistic bird. He immediately launched a fierce attack on the eagle beast. The powerful shockwave from their clash shook the earth. Siyan was secretly amazed. This kind of combat power was even more destructive than high-level warriors from the apocalypse. She hid behind a large tree and drew her dagger, wanting to help Tyson. But just as she turned to rush out, a gust of wind made it impossible for her to open her eyes. The eagle grabbed her slender waist and whooshed up into the sky. Tyson roared on the ground but was helpless. Siyan was so frightened she saw stars, thinking to herself, "Where is he taking me?" The eagle beast suddenly released his claws and Siyan fell straight down. At the critical moment, the eagle beast dove down and caught her again. "You damn bird, are you trying to drop me to death?" The eagle beast smirked wickedly. "Who told you to reject me?" Speaking, he dove down and landed steadily. Siyan's limbs went weak from fright, lying on the ground gasping for air. In her heart, she worried about her 4 hungry snake cubs at home. She didn't know where this big bird had taken her. She quietly approached the eagle and, catching it off guard, wrapped a rope around its neck. "Take me back or I'll kill you right now." The eagle beast's eyes flashed and whoosh, he transformed into human form. Even though Siyan had seen it once before, she was still greatly shocked. The eagle beast leaned close to her, corner of his mouth lifting. "You rejected me before to play hard to get, right? Why don't we become mates right now?" Siyan's face darkened, speechless to the extreme. The wire in her hand involuntarily tightened even more. "I'll say it again, I already have a male and won't take a second." Hearing this, the eagle beast's heart sank. In the entire beast world continent, he had never seen a female who planned to have only one mate. But the next second, he smiled again. "Beautiful little female, you truly are a rare treasure." Siyan was exasperated. "Shut up, I don't want to throw up again." Night fell quickly. Siyan worried about her cubs at home, figuring those little ones were probably complaining about her again. On the other side, the little snakes waited from day until dark, but Siyan still hadn't returned. The little snake with the broken bone couldn't help but speak in anger. "Stop waiting. That bad female died outside and won't come back." North Clear called him out. "Big brother, stop talking. You're clearly worried about her too." East Red was moved inside but stubbornly insisted. "She sold me once, she'll do it a second time. Abandoning me is just a matter of time." West Blue told everyone to stop arguing. He felt Siyan wouldn't abandon them again. She might have encountered an accident. The little snakes were full of worry. North Clear had finally seen Siyan improve and didn't want to lose such a good mother. He immediately ran out to search. West Blue, worried, also followed. East Red told the other little snake, South Ink, to follow them while he stayed home. Though his mouth said he hated her, his heart was already filled with worry. On the isolated island, Siyan sat alone by the sea. The night sea breeze scattered some of her worries. A sea turtle crawled over, tangled in rope, its shell covered with barnacles. She knew barnacles would erode the shell, reduce the turtle's mobility, and even make them lose their ability to survive. So she used her dagger to cut the rope and clean the barnacles off the shell, thinking the barnacles could be used for dinner. Just as she was happy, another turtle covered in barnacles crawled to her feet. Then a group of turtles troubled by barnacles came one after another, as if begging for her help. Siyan put in great effort to clean all the turtles. The turtles nodded to her in thanks, then swam into the sea. This feeling of being needed was something she had never experienced in the apocalypse, wonderful and warm. At this moment, the eagle beast flew overhead, heading straight for Siyan. Seeing the barnacles in her hands, he widened his eyes. "You hunted again?" Siyan was full of question marks, wondering why the eagle said again.